Hey everybody, welcome back. This topic is instrument departure procedures. I know you're saying, what the heck do I need this for? I'm not an instrument pilot. Well, guess what? You're going to become an instrument pilot someday, or if you're not, the departure procedure can still is still there for you. It's still a great way to depart a terminal environment. So, I want to start out with the AIM definition here. This is straight off the FAA website. Instrument departure procedures, ODPs, which are obstacle departure procedures, or a SID, standard instrument departure. We're not going to talk about the DVA at this point. Let's just not muddy the water any more than it needs to be. So let's read this together because it's important. Instrument departure procedures are pre-planned instrument flight rule procedures, IFRs, which provide obstruction clearance from the terminal area to the appropriate en route structure. There's two types. Here's the important part. There are two types of departure procedures. ODPs, which are printed either textually or graphically, and the standard instrument departure, or SID, which is always printed graphically. All DPs, either textual or graphic, may be designed using either conventional or RNAV criteria. Okay, it's really not all that important. RNAV procedures will have RNAV printed on them in the title. Yep. Okay, this is important here. ODPs provide obstruction clearance via the least onerous route from the terminal area to the appropriate en route structure. ODPs are recommended for obstruction clearance, and here we go, may be flown without ATC clearance unless an alternate departure procedure such as a SID or radar vectors has been specifically assigned by ATC. Graphic ODPs will have obstacle printed in the procedure title, for example, the Geyser 3 departure obstacle or the Crown 1 departure RNAV obstacle. SIDs are air traffic control ATC procedures printed for pilot controller use in graphic form to provide obstruction clearance and a transition from the terminal area to the appropriate en route structure. SIDs are primarily designed for system enhancement and to reduce pilot controller workload. Think busy airspace, right? ATC clearance must be received prior to flying a SID. All DPs provide the pilot with a way to depart the airport and transition to the en route structure safely. So, as a VFR pilot, ODPs are not only there for your use, they are encouraged to be used because, as it says, it's the least onerous route from the terminal to the appropriate en route structure. Okay, now that we have that, let's look at one. I have got loaded Pullman Moscow Regional Airport. This is a good one. Simply because it has a very basic and it has a little more complex off of whichever runway you're departing from. So, all ODPs will have takeoff minimums with them. So we're not going to talk about the takeoff minimums. That's another topic for another day. And I specifically want to talk about the departure procedure first. We'll get that nailed down and then move on in another video. Okay, so runway 5. If we look at this here, and I hope I can do this without crossing anything off. This is for runway 5. The other is for runway 23. So off of runway 5, which is down here, right? This is the Pullman Airport, runway 5. Let's see. There we go. Off of runway 5, we're going to climb heading 050, so basically runway heading, to 3,100 feet, then a climbing left turn direct to the VOR, which is down here. All right. I'm off a little bit. Climbing left turn direct to the VOR. There you go. I know you're asking yourself, well, that turn is a little subjective, is it not? It's expected that you make a standard rate turn. So yes, if you do a 3-degree turn, you're going to end up coming all the way out, which is no good, right? So off of runway 5, heading 050, climbing left turn 3,100 feet. Then, so this is 3,100 feet. After you reach 3,100 feet, then a climbing left turn, direct the Pullman VOR. All right, what happens when we get there? Let me get rid of this other junk. It says continue climb in the Pullman VOR holding pattern, southwest left turns 032 inbound to cross the VOR at or above the MEA for direction of flight. So simply put, we're going to enter a hold, climb until we reach our MEA, and then depart. Well, I know what you're asking. What if we reach our MEA before we get to the VOR? I would say you simply enter the turn in one hold, depart. Okay. This is providing obstacle clearance. If you need more turns, then you just simply make as many turns as you need. So let's break down this hold here. Direct the VOR, left turns 032 inbound. So the 032 radial is somewhere, well, here's 030. So let's go like this. There's the 032 radial. So after we cross the VOR, we've climbed out, made our left-hand turn, direct to the VOR. We need to intercept the 032 reciprocal, because it says it holds southwest. Does it not? It sure does. So we need to intercept the 212 radial and make our holding pattern around that. As we remember, holds are right-hand turns, 1 minute legs. So it's up to you what kind of entry you'd like to do. Personally, I would just do a teardrop, right? Cross the VOR, do my teardrop entry, continue my hold if I needed to, and then depart once I've reached my MEA. I won't go into how to set up your VOR because all of our avionics are kind of different, right? Some have just the old school steam gauges. Some have an HSI. Some are doing this round dial, computer based. So it's up to you to know your avionics and how to do that. This is that's a little elementary, I think, maybe for this point. So I expect that you know how to be able to intercept this 212 radial, which is putting you on the 032 degree radial inbound. All right. So runway 5 is pretty basic. Let me get rid of all that. Okay, I think that's it. Runway 23, a little bit more involved. Not too bad though. Let me try, see if I can get a different color here. I'll get fancy. Maybe not. Okay, forget it. It's not all that important. All right. Runway 23, climbing left turn to intercept the Pullman VOR DME radial 018 to the station. Okay, I'm guesstimating, but that looks like about 018 to me. Okay. After that, we're going to continue the climb in the Pullman VOR DME holding pattern, southwest left turns 032 inbound to cross the VOR at or above the MEA for direction of flight. So, same thing. If we're going to go to the 032, which is maybe something like that, well, we need to build our hold around this 212 radial. We depart runway 23, which is here, intercept the 018, fly it inbound, hit the VOR. Now we're going to fly outbound on the 212. Parallel entry looks pretty good to me here. You could still do a teardrop. I have no problem with that. Either one I think is going to work just fine. Parallel entry. Establish ourselves in the hold, 1 minute legs. Bam, we're holding. We're climbing to our MEA. Once we reach the MEA, then boom, off we go into La La Land or whatever. So that basically sums up the Pullman departure. The great thing about this now is that it doesn't matter the airport. If you know what you're looking at here, if ATC hasn't told you how to depart, they didn't give a SID or something, and you are on an instrument flight plan, well, look for the ODP. Fly the ODP. If you're not on an IFR flight plan, you're just VFR, it's VMC, and I don't know, maybe you feel like you want to fly the tried and true method of getting out of there the least complicated way. Maybe there's other people in the area who conduct these departure procedures, and you know, you can need to kind of play along. You can do it here. Just find these ODPs, sit down, write it out, chart it out graphically so you know what you're looking at, and go from there. They seem a little intimidating, but if you remember, the SID must be assigned by ATC. The ODP can be flown by anybody at any time. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I greatly appreciate it.